Our Eminem Kamikaze first reaction. If you haven't seen it, you can find it in the description. The link will be there. We figured it was a good time to go back and do one of these recaps for it. Really break it down by category.
I feel like 3 years is a good amount of time for me to have like a final review and a final thought on an album. My ratings, all that would be kind of solid.
Yeah, that's way more than enough time for me.
Compared to a month.
It's a good amount of time to see how a project ages, to see how opinions change and all that. I was loving this project when it first came out.
Yeah, it was a surprise drop too. No one seen it happening, so.
That too. If you want to see extended videos, bonus content, stuff that we do not post on YouTube, you can check us out on Patreon. That's patreon.com/VibeVilla. This video is actually posted on Patreon a while before it was posted on YouTube.
My favorite instrumental was Not Alike. I had Venom at first, and then I listened to that one more time, and Not Alike was just too fire, bro.
The beats on this weren't that strong.
They weren't.
And it really just pointed out to me how much M and his presence and his lyricism really made the project dope. Because the beats weren't bad. I'm not saying they were awful, but they weren't like anything crazy to me, just in general.
The beat switch at 255 was dope.
Team up with Nina, but next time you don't gotta use Tech 9 if you wanna come at me with a submachine gun. And I'm talking to you, but you already know who the fuck you are, Kelly. This time shady about to sound off like a fucking cock, send me Glock to me, God, let me put a fucking silence on this.
Yeah,
that shit was just fire to me, bro.
I had
my headphones on and I was just, my neck almost fell off my shoulders, bro.
My favorite instrumental on this was Greatest.
In the Latter-day Saints, manic state, Stephen Paddock with automatic stay spray at anything that may stand in their way as I stand at the bay window.
His cadence and his syllables help add something to the beat, even though it's not part of it.
My favorite hook on the project, I had two that I was trying to decide between. The one I ended up going with was Good Guy, Jesse Reyes.
I have the same one, Good Guy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and how it flows right after Eminem's verse.
Yeah.
Cause you just look at me and roll them little snake eyes, and since
you bought the jury, they'll call me guilty.
It's so tough.
They'll call me guilty.
She said what? You bought the jury, don't call me guilty. It's tough.
Even though you know the real me, you can't be the cheater, convincing unbeliever. And I ain't in my feelings, I'm out. But I let you say that you're the good guy.
It felt so neutral. It felt like it was, you could take it from two perspectives. The man's, or Eminem's perspective after his whole verse, and the woman's perspective.
Honorable mention was Stepping Stone. This is the category I spent the most time on. This project was pretty bar heavy. There were two on Ringer. The first one was the whole M-I-C bar. That shit was so crazy to me. Initially when he did it, and then even just listening to it since the first reaction, how he set it up and then executed it was wild.
You won't ever see M-I-C, but as cold as I get on the M-I-C, I polarize shit so the temps might freeze and your skull might split like I passed you upside it. Bitch, I got the club on
smash like a nightstick too. That shit crazy. How he lays that out, you'll never see M-I-C. M with chains, M all iced out, but as cold as I get on the M-I-C. Y'all know the bar. It's tough, but how he keeps it going from that to turn the volume up, you know, volume, the drugs that he used to take, or used to, but turn the volume up. That whole section was just fire.
At the beginning of Greatest.
Is that 35? I have one.
Yeah, it's at 30.
Yeah, they yanking my chain joint. That's,
that shit's dope. Fire, bro.
Yeah.
Eight different ways, ain't called the race. You chumps don't even know how to do something to give goosebumps. A day when you say there's something you wrote, gave someone a lump in their throat, or you had him choked up, you be yanking my chain. Feel like I'm headed for the.
You can't. You guys don't spit nothing to move people.
Not at all. At all. But the choice of words that just relate to each other: goosebumps, lump in your throat, choke, yanking your chain.
It's clever how he put it together. That's the only way you'll make someone choke up. Is by yanking the chain, like, so you'll never make someone choke up by your word. Yeah, it's tough how you did it.
Yanking your chain is like joking around, you're fucking with somebody. Early in the verse, he mentioned something about going to the welcome to the gun convention.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where he starts that bar.
Gunpowder and split the scene. Hold the mic similar to pistol squeeze, but I shoot from the hip when I grip them things. And my lips are the clips, got the cig lit like it's nicotine. Trigger me and Slim gets mean. Bars are like bullets when I split them schemes. That's why I call the motherfuckers M16s.
Yeah.
Crazy. Fire. I say he gonna have some gunpowder till he split the scene, till he retires.
Yeah.
And they have the whole bunch of gun-related.
All the references, the references he has within the verse, and then to end it with M16s. That's crazy. The next track that I had one from was Stepping Stones, and this was off of my initial reaction. This was my favorite bar on the project. This shit made me go crazy.
I have that.
By the time your reign is over, you'll hardly be missed. That shit is still insane to me how he set it up. Didn't see it coming, and I should have seen it coming because the setup for it started like 6 bars prior.
The climate
because that's what I realized eventually. The setup started so long before the actual punch was given. Crazy.
You can see our reaction.
Crazy bar.
That shit out, 'cause
Never thought the party would end. 1 minute your body and shit, but then your audience splits.
Yeah.
You can already sense the climate
Coming
is starting to shift. To these kids, you no longer exist. Went from raining cats and dogs in this bitch to tiny drops, little drips. And by the time your reign is over, you'll hardly be missed. You
That's
start
hard, bro. Because he starts talking about how you're starting to lose the hold you have on the young kids. Because, you know, the younger generation really controls what's popping in
trends and all.
Yeah, raining cats and dogs in this bitch.
Yeah.
To tiny drops, little drips.
Yeah.
And then he hits you with the final punch. By the time your reign is over, you'll hardly be missed. That's
fire.
wild.
To this day.
Crazy.
That's probably one of my
bar.
favorite Eminem bars ever, fam. That shit is just...
Yeah. Shit's crazy.
Fire.
That's a Yo.
I had to add it too, bro.
How could you not? Anyone who's doing the top bars of this project and you don't have that on the list, I gotta question you. By the time your reign is over, you'll hardly be missed. Cause like mist is like nothing. Like
It's still
is like
it's still
but it's
water,
nothing.
But it's nothing.
Yeah. So your
Rain.
rate, the downpour of rain, you'll go from that to hardly being missed, but also you won't be missed. Like people will hardly miss you after your reign is over. It's just hard.
Just take
it's
it
just
in
crazy.
Take it in for what mist is already, and then saying hardly be that.
Yeah. It's just wild.
I got one more bar from Not Like,
Word.
Where he addresses MGK.
Where I have 2 from that track.
Unless yours is before 247.
Before 247. Yeah, both of mine before 247. I got one from Royce on this shit.
Out how to do a freestyle as fly as me. I'm confused trying to figure out how to do Capri Styles and Maya G. Everybody doing chick joints, probably rob these little dudes at Fist Point. Remember everybody used to bite nickel. Now everybody doing Bitcoin.
That shit's hard.
Tough.
What? I probably robbed these dudes at Fist Point. Remember everybody used to bite nickel. His name's Nickel. Everybody used to bite me. Now everybody doing Bitcoin. Like the past tense, the word used to bite, but Bitcoin. Like this shit.
But also that
coin is a nickel.
Trending then too.
Yeah, but also like nickel and coin. Like this shit's wild. This other one's tough too. Literally all I have here for the note is charged. Can you guess what bar it is?
Charged?
All I have is charged.
No.
Alright.
I don't like us. You say you affiliated with murderous killers.
You ain't never been plugged in, that way?
Yeah. The reason I haven't started from here is because this is where the is where the scheme starts. Like you saying you gangster, but you not, and then he has a Young Thug Gunna bar in there too. Like
not like us. You say you affiliated with murderous killers.
Yeah.
The people you run with are thuggin'.
Nah.
But you just the wanna be gunner. Like you was gonna do something. Acting like you catching bodies. And you got juice, little young, and you're bugging. You ain't never even been charging connection with battery, bitch. You ain't plugged into nothing.
Juice, connection, charged battery. You ain't plugged into nothing. Like, relax.
So
crazy.
Words, just
crazy scheme.
Fire, bro.
Crazy scheme. But yeah, those are my 2 off this joint. I know where you going with this one too.
This shit was fire.
He must be feeling himself. He wants to keep up. It's tough demeanor, so he does a feature. Decides to team up with Nina. But next time you don't gotta use Tech 9 if you wanna come at me with a submachine gun. And I'm talking to you, but you already know.
Yeah.
MGK did a song with Tech 9, man. Said next time you don't have to use Tech 9 if you want to come at me with a submachine gun.
Shit's tough.
Tough, bro.
That's all the bars I have still.
Alright, I feel you. I got a couple more. Not too many more. I got a couple more I want to get off. So he had a dope little scheme. It could be taken as a diss to 1 or 2 artists that are in the game.
Somebody that no one's ever even heard of. All I know is I wrote every single word of everything I ever murdered. Time to separate the sheep from goats. And I got no faith in your writers. I don't believe in ghosts. When rap
I wrote everything I ever murdered, and then he goes from that to the Ghost Rider bar. I don't believe in ghosts, so Ghost Rider, but murdered everything. When you murder something, it's gonna become a ghost.
At the time, they were saying that this was a shot at, I think, Drake.
Yeah,
they were saying.
yeah. I still think it's a possible, because.
But I think he cleared that up and said it wasn't.
Come on, bro. Shout out to the button fasten up zipper scheme he had on this same track too. I ain't really write it down, but I just, you know what I'm saying.
Then the Parasite host with the Grammy and all
crazy.
That. Yeah.
And then I had one more bar that I wanted to point out. It was off Venom. Back in India, the Gandhi Kamikaze joint.
Mr. Thought spun like your rapping is caught in them. Held against your will like a hubcap or a mud flat beat strangle.
Held against your will like a hubcap. Okay.
Or a mud flap.
Eat painkiller pills, fuck a blood track like what's her name's at the wheel. Then a cup Patrick through the car in the reverse at the Indian nut crash in India. The back of it just mangled steel. My Mustang in the Jeep Wrangler, the grill with the front smashed. Much as my rear fender assassin. Slim be a combination of an action.
And bro, what's wild? Yo, what's wild though is these bars just by themselves and the rhyme scheme and the flow and everything by themselves is crazy. But then when you get the punch later and you realize it was all just a setup for the, like it was all just a scheme to set up the punch, it makes it even crazier, bro. Cause then you realize what his options of what to say are limited because it has to fit within the scheme, but it seems limitless because of the way he finds things to put it. It's crazy what he does, bro. He's talking about Danica Patrick, the reverse, the Mango Jeep Wrangler, all that shit. Is bro, this shit's insane.
A blood track like the Jeep Wrangler, the grill with the front smash. Much as my rear fender assassin. Slim be a combination of an action Kamikaze and Gandhi. Translation, I will probably kill us both when I end up back in India.
What? Translation, because Kamikaze is a pilot that's gonna kill himself while killing everybody. Translation, I'll probably end up killing us both when I end up back in India.
Into you.
But India, Gandhi. Yeah. So it complements that, but it also pays off this car scheme that started how many bars back? M is
insane, bro.
It's insane. Wild when you really start to like not just hear the music but listen to what he's saying. Those are the bars of note that I had. There's so many more, so y'all could drop in the comments some of your favorites because this project was bar heavy.
Filled, bro. Filled with bars. There were one-liners, schemes, honestly, a whole bunch of them. Honestly.
And we can't include all of them. It's a long-ass video. So, yeah, go check out the reaction if you haven't seen it. We speak about a couple other bars on there that we just caught off first listen. You could only choose 4 of the 13 on here. All the rest you could never listen to again, bro. Your favorite 4.
My favorite 4 was Lucky You. Lucky You featuring Joyner Lucas. I think they both killed that shit.
Not Alike. Royce did his thing on there. And then Eminem obviously murdered that track. Stepping Stone was another one. And then Venom.
So we had 2 of the same ones. Plus I have Venom as honorable mention. So the ones that we had that were the same was Stepping Stone and Not Alike. The Ringer, the very first track on the project. That's just him. There's no hook. There's no nothing. It's just him starting it off on some like villainous, I'ma get y'all all back, I'ma talk my shit. I fuck with that track. And also Good Guy, bro. I couldn't let that one go. I just love the track.
I'm skipping Normal.
I'm skipping that too.
I'm skipping Kamikaze.
I'm skipping that too. I've had that down.
And I'm skipping Nice Guy. Those are the 3 I had.
Yo, I had the same 3. No, in the same order too. Normal, Kamikaze, and Nice Guy.
Yeah.
I was skipping them 3. I want to say though, I want to point out.
I know what you're gonna say.
That Normal has some bars on there.
I know that.
Normal has some bars on there, but just the song as a whole, I gotta skip it.
I'm Not Like. I think he absolutely destroyed that shit, bro.
I'm not mad at that.
But this time shady about the sound off like a fucking cock. Send me Glock to me, God. Let me put a fucking silencer on this little non-threatening blonde, very cornball taking shots at me. You're not ready, fool. Break yourself like Rocksteady crew. Obviously, I'm not getting through. You'll ever say I lost, you'll be talking about Fetty Wap. Better call Diddy. Soldier my soul in and told him the moment he saw me that I'll be the most hated. Though made it so that there's no shame. It's okay.
As much as it was the lyrics, it was also the cadence and the flow and what Eminem really does on his verses, bro.
Visible with the pen, I'm at the pinnacle. The sick individual. Stick my ticket, put the tip in it minimal. And fucking these syllables. I let him work on my genitals. I'm a fucking invincible, indefensible, despicable, typical prick, a little bit unpredictable. I spit the formidable. That you bitch you fucking with the original. I consider me a nickel identical. Mug folded, none, rug, host a lug, nut, coast a long jug, roast a young thug, poster, unplugged toaster. That's how much we have in common.
Tough.
Basically
tough.
Nothing.
And then ends it. Exactly. Nothing. He names a few things that have nothing in common at all, but so random compared to what he did in the verse.
The only thing they have in common is their rhyme, really. Which is crazy in itself. Lucky You. What he did on Lucky You was that verse is absolutely flawless to me.
Coming from humble beginnings, I'm somewhat uncomfortable winning. I wish I could say what a wonderful feeling. We're on the upswing like we're punching the ceiling, but nothing is feeling like anyone has any fucking ability to even stick to a subject.
I said we're on the upswing like we're punching the ceiling.
Yeah.
We're on the upswing like we're punching the ceiling, but nothing is feeling like anyone has any fucking ability to even stick to a subject. It's killing.
He's getting at this new generation about their rap style and what they choose to focus on, and not really paying respect to the art form in itself.
I'm asleep at the wheel again as I'm begin to thinking about an evil intent of another beat, I'm a kill again. Cause even if I gotta end up eating a pill again, even ketamine and methamphetamine, cause I'ma end up being a villain again. Levels to the shit, I got an elevator. You could never say to me I'm not a fucking record breaker. I sound like a broken record every time I break a record. Nobody could ever take away the legacy I made. I never cater, motherfucker, never got.
I sound like a broken record every time I break a record. I do this shit all the time.
Broke till the wheels fall off, I'm working
tirelessly. Hey,
what's the moment y'all been waiting for? Like California, wishing rain and pour, and that drought y'all been praying for. My downfall from the 8 Mile to the South Pass to the same marshal that outlaw that they say is a right. I might have fell off back on that bull like a cowboy. What? So y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move, bro. That's M.
This was actually my honorable mention. Like, it's fire. He did not let up at all.
Not once. Best moments, since we're already on this track, I'm gonna let y'all know. From 305 on, that was the flow y'all just heard, the crazy flow. That's one of my moments. Also the Paul skits. Paul skits, yeah, mad funny. The end of the last verse of Stepping Stones. That's what it means is crazy.
But I just can't be that guy everybody depends on for entire careers, cause that's not even fair. I will always be here, but that spark isn't there, and I don't know how to recapture that time in that air.
That part got me too, where he said, yo, that spark isn't there and I don't know how to recapture that time. It reminds me of was it on Till I Collapse? He's acknowledging that he knows that this rap shit and being in the limelight is a finite thing. It doesn't last forever. And when you know it's your time, you should like you should bow out gracefully is what he's saying on this track. And now he recalls that. He's saying, yo, that time is gone. That spark is no longer there. And he's apologetic, but at the same time, he's being real about it. Like, yo, this is just what it is, bro. And he's like, he had to make this track to get closure on the situation and to move past it.
But the longer we spend living this lie that we live, the less is left for closure. So let's let this go. It's not goodbye to our friendship, but D12 is over.
Hook comes back.
I'ma wash away my sins.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was
crazy moment. I love that.
I mean, he was addressing a lot of people, and then just to include this and talk about people that really meant something to him was dope. And it reminded me of, I think it reminded me of what was it, Toy Soldier?
Toy Soldiers as well, but also just that time period. And that was like definitely intentional to use a beat, to use a sound that sounded like that time to address those times.
The first track, right off the bat, he came for people's necks. He was addressing everybody. And lucky you, around the 151 mark.
Wasn't in it for the trophies, just the fucking recognition. Fuck's the difference, I'm that cracker, been the law.
There's that. Man said, I'm that cracker. Nah, nigga said, I'm that nigga. Nigga actually said, I'm that cracker. That shit was just hilarious to me. I had to include it.
Somewhere on this project, he said, if all my success is because I'm a white rapper, then how come none of these other white rappers have the
same success
as him? Yeah. So he's like, I'm that one.
And the skits as well. I had that as well. The skits were hilarious. Dope from Paul calling, and then later on in the album you get Eminem. You can hear the GPS in the background, but you don't know what's happening until he gets to the end. He's like, I'm about to go get them right now.
If you've been listening to Eminem projects, you know how big of a role
Paul plays.
Yeah, in terms of like trying to keep him on track and trying to keep him out of like bullshit. So again, he's back here. We get this project out of nowhere, and we get Paul back. He's here still trying to keep Eminem out of like, yo, what's next? You gonna make a Kamikaze 2 replying to the response of the reply? Yeah, it's just funny how they're dynamic.
Mine was Joyner, bro. This nigga.
Joyner over Royce, bro.
I picked Joyner over Royce. I did. Joyner. It was between both of them, but I liked.
Obviously.
I liked what this guy said. The pre-verse, the verse itself, and him setting up. As I said, him setting up the entire energy for the track, and then Eminem follows exactly the blueprint. So it's tough.
I feel you. It is a preference thing. You're right. I'm not saying the verse is trash. Don't get that's not what I'm saying at all.
You're basically saying Royce had a better verse.
In my opinion, Royce has one of the top 4 best verses on this whole album.
If you go on verse for verse, Royce obviously had the better verse. But I'm saying features, personal preference, but for me was Jordan.
I feel you. What's your favorite song on the what? What?
Not Alike. I couldn't let it go, fam. I couldn't.
Wait, hold on.
I couldn't. I said Not Alike 3 times. It was Not Alike was my favorite instrumental. It was part of my favorite 4. Eminem's favorite verse, and then feature.
Could have been
Joyner favorite feature, and now song.
Nah, Joyner's Lucky You. Not Alike is the one with Royce 9.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Freudian slip. He know what he really want to say. He know. Freudian slip. He know what he really want to say. Freudian slip.
Nothing like was definitely.
I feel you. My favorite song on the project was Stepping Stone. Just what it meant from a personal standpoint. How he used the sound to also communicate what his message was. He used it he brought it back to an older, a previous time, along with what he's actually saying on the track. You get a classic Eminem type hook when he's kind of singing, if you want to call it that. You know what he does on the hook. So just the track as a whole was just a crazy track to me. I remember my first reaction to it and just how surprised I was that he was acknowledging all this and letting it all out. What would you change about the project, bro?
I wasn't changing. I'm not changing anything about the project still.
Alright, I have a similar answer. Yo, where's the deluxe? Where's the deluxe version?
This guy.
That's what I have for changes. Where's the deluxe, yo?
My final rating after listening to this multiple times
is 8.3.
8.3?
8.3.
That's surprisingly low. For you.
8.3.
You usually give the high ratings.
But those albums are more fresher to me. This is 3 years. I've had this for 3 years to digest it for 3 years. So
off of first listen, I was giving this something like a 9 point something. After going through it with the mind to give it a rating, I settled on an 8.8. So that's why I'm giving the project.
This album still hits after 3 years. Crazy.
Yeah. Really enjoy doing these reviews, these recaps. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite bars were, favorite instrumental, favorite feature, all that. But yeah, that's the video. If you like it, hit that like button. We appreciate you. If you're new and want to see more, subscribe. That helps us grow. Y'all keep supporting.
We keep dropping.
That's how that goes. Peace.